Hello, my tarot friends. It's Justin Michael. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome, of course, if this is your first time stopping by. I appreciate you as well. It's going to be kind of a short video. I have a few things going on. I'm going to do a deck review, and I'll turn the camera around for the second part of the video. But I wanted to give you a channel update first and tell you about some things that are happening for me. So I have a Tarot Tube birthday coming up in November. It's going to be my first year on YouTube. So I do want to do a giveaway, and it's going to be something like kind of cool, maybe a couple of decks. One of which I already decided is going to be the Rollicon or the Rollicon, and that is a Pablo Robledo project, and it's actually Tarot Tavo is the one who did the line work and everything. That's his colleague, and then Pablo did the colors for it. So I'm excited about that, but I also want to do a few other things. You know, for me, when I started out here, I had a totally different view of what YouTube would be like, you know. And it's really just become, because I would have quit a long time ago, I think, except that, you know, I have a lot of friends in the tarot community where I exchange sort of information, and this is how we have fun with each other. You know, we watch each other's videos, we comment on each other's videos. And it's a way I am able to stay in touch with people who live on different continents, you know. And, you know, these are my friends. And I really enjoy interacting with you guys. And I appreciate the people that support my channel. And especially the people that have been with me from the start. And also the new people who have come on to my channel as well. I appreciate everyone. And, you know, it's just like one nice community of online tarot people. So I want to say thank you, and so I'll be doing a giveaway for that reason alone in November. You will have to be subscribed to my channel. You will have to be on the planet Earth, and I'll have to be able to ship to you. So though if you live in Antarctica, for instance, I probably won't be able to ship to you. But you know, otherwise everybody is welcome, because that's the way I roll. And if I can ship to you, I will. You know what I mean? Especially for this occasion, because it's my birthday. And if it was something like, you know, inconsequential, I would just do like local or whatever. But, you know, most of the people that watch my channel and that I interact with are in different countries. So I couldn't just do the United States. It wouldn't be fair. So I want to include everybody. And that's nothing against anybody else who doesn't do, because I see people who do it in the UK, I see people do it in America. And look, if you're giving away a lot of stuff all the time, especially during COVID, I totally get that. But if there's a way I can ship it to you, you can be involved. So, and I'll make the announcements as I go. The second big announcement for my channel, this is very big for me, is in the second week in November, I'll be meeting with Robert M. Place, and I'll be interviewing him much in the way I did with Vincent Petici and Rachel. So he's going to be included in my Titans of the Tarot series. And that's really exciting, you know. And I have another person, too, in mind that I've already contacted with, but they are busy with projects right now. But once that finishes, I'm going to be able to interview her as well. So I'm not going to name her, though, because I don't want to put her under pressure. But, you know, it's really exciting, and something I'm going to prepare for. And I will engage you guys as well about it, because I'm going to ask, you know, my viewers to submit questions, anything they want to ask Robert M. Place in the interview, much like I did with Rachel. I think it'll be great. So, but save your comments for that until I will ask them for you as we get closer. But yeah, I think that's it. So, you know, I just wanted to give you those updates and tell you I got a lot of decks I need to review. I wanted to cram them all in this video, but I'm just like, you know, I'm going to do them one at a time. So expect a lot of walkthroughs from me in the next week or two. But so the thing I'm going to the thing I'm going to, well, I guess I am sort of interviewing it. I'm going to do a walkthrough of it. It's the Coronavirus Tarot, the Corona Tarot. Now, listen, I made fun of this deck for 3 weeks, and then I realized, I went on Etsy and I looked at it, and I realized it was actually a work of art, and that I was really, really kind of quick to condemn it. You know what I mean? I think what it is we're all just tired of coronavirus. You know what I mean? We're all sick of it, and like we don't want to hear about it. And but I think this will age well, this deck, because for one, it's really well done. It's a really cool deck, but also it's, you know, a piece of history, and it's like a way that we can kind of, you know, remember the few crazy months, especially in the beginning, of what happened and everything. And the collector in me wanted it for that reason, but also I have a feeling that it's going to age well, and it will be a collectible in the future. So, but anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at the cards. Okay, guys, so we got the Corona Tarot here, and it says a guide for the Meta Ion. Not quite sure what that means, you know. They do have a book that you can download. It's a small book, like I mentioned, on the Etsy website. When you purchase it, they give you the link, so you can see what that's all about. On the opposite side, you have Horrenda Process Absurdisma. I don't know what that means. It's obviously Latin or Spanish, but it looks like something like horrendous maybe, and absurd. So I think it's maybe something about, you know, like that it's a satire kind of deck. I don't know. I'll have to look that up, and maybe I'll put that down in the description box when I look it up. So it says The Pandemic in a Box. And there's the website, coronatarot.com. And the creators of the deck it's channeled through Steve Spear, Amy Layhoff, and Scott Rose. So they are the ones that created this. It's a tuck box. It's nothing fancy, but it's a nice quality tuck box. Like, it reminds me of something like you would get from US Games or something, maybe even a little more durable. It sits nice and flush with the deck. It could probably take a bit of a beating, and like nothing's ready to fall off or tear. It's not like, you know, cheap cardboard, which a lot of times they are. And the card quality is super nice. I mean, it reminds me of like the S30 cardstock from MakePlayingCards.com, but it's a little thicker than that, I think. Maybe just a little thicker, but it's got a similar feel. It's a nice like playing card quality though. These are the card backs, and you can just see, you know, you have the toilet paper rolls for the pentacles, the canes. These are canes for wands, face masks for air, and soap for cups, which I thought was pretty funny. So the first card we're going to look at was originally the Fool. So this is the first Fool of the deck. There's two Fools in this deck. The little bit of information you get in the guidebook is gives you just a couple definitions for, you know, gives you like a 2-sentence kind of description of each card with definition, but then there's a couple of paragraphs at the bottom, and the story is that they initially had this as the Fool, but the printer in China wouldn't print it, so they had to come up with another Fool to print the deck, and then they got this printed separately from another printer, and they included it in the deck, so they had to use two different printers, as from what I understand. I don't know why the printer in China wouldn't print this card, but I imagine it has something to do with Trump being on the front, and of course Hillary. I don't know, but maybe it's a little risky for them, or it's just like against the strict government kind of regulations they have in China. This is the Fool that they chose to use in the deck, and it's pretty interesting. You know, I don't really know exactly what it is. It looks like an Aeon, or like something like you know, subatomic kind of thing. You know, like DNA, some sort of like the starting point of the disease, I guess. But you can see Aleph in there, which is the you know, the Hebrew letter, which is the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet. So it's in that sort of Golden Dawn system. And then we have the Magician, which is the moment of conception, I guess. You have a guy in the Wuhan lab. You know, maybe this is where the disease started. I'm not sure. It might not even be a Wuhan lab. It could be, I don't really know, you know, because I know that this tells a bit of a story, but I haven't really pieced it together yet. And then here's the High Priestess, which is also in a lab. I found this deck to be really interesting, and the artwork is really attractive. I really like it. It reminds me a bit of that deck that everybody wants to get, which is the Hexen 2.0, I think it is called, or Hexen 4.0 or something. It's kind of like tongue-in-cheek and like, you know, a bit edgy, like that kind of humor. Maybe not as edgy as Hexen, but the Empress. And here's the Emperor. So if you want to see, you know, these in depth, you'll have to pause them because I want to go a little fast. Not too fast, but you know, you can always pause. Hierophant. That looks like the doctor. Falsey is his name. Dr. Vincent Falsey, I think. Or Falsty. I don't know his name. A little bit. Dr. Falsey. This is interesting because, you know, you have a person, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, doesn't matter, looking into, like, sort of looking at death in the mirror. And so you have that kind of duality, that, like, give and take of the lovers. But I'm not quite sure. Like, I'll have to really think about it, sit with it. But it is interesting, you know. So I guess maybe a bit of paranoia. You know, he's got the face mask, and he's staring death in the mirror. If that's what that is. Yeah. Leave your comments below if you notice something that I'm not noticing, because it's very possible. So we have the Chariot, which is the lungs. That's like the place where the disease moves, you know. Now, I found this interesting. So this is card 8, and it's Judgment, which belongs in card 19, right? But it has the Scales of Justice. So I don't know if they decided to remove, because Judgment is not in the deck, so maybe they decided to move Judgment to Justice and kind of put like Judgment with the Fishmonger, like poor Judgment. He's got bats on one scale, fish on the other, kind of thing. So it's kind of like the two cards combined, maybe, or at least it's a different Judgment, maybe. Don't know if the booklet says anything about that. I should look at that. Then we have 9 here, which is a hermit, an older guy, kind of, you know, stuck in his little apartment and nowhere to go. It's too dangerous. Got the blind shut. And instead of the lamp, you have the light. It's kind of interesting. The symbolism's all there. You got the star. So, I mean, it is Rider-Waite, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, with the strength at well, Justice at card 8, you know, it's the old style, you know. And this one I like too. You know, it's very cool, very smart. They did that. And so strength is like kind of completely removed, and you have lust, which is interesting. And I thought about it. I'm like, you know, it's probably has to do with being isolated, and everybody's, you know, not seeing each other. So everybody's all pent up, maybe. And here we have card 12, which is a guy waiting in line, 6 feet apart, you know, the shops. It's a scary time, especially in the beginning. And then you have, remember, all the body bags outside the hospitals, things like that. This is something that some people may find offensive. I mean, you know, I hope that you don't. I hope it's not that offensive, but it is, you know, this is how we tell the truth in these kind of things. You know, art and satire is done this way. So, you know, it's always been done that way. Newspapers and so forth, dating back a long time. So instead of Temperance at 14, we have art. And I'm not quite sure what she's drawing there. Looks like Saturn or something. Huh. forget what that symbol is. And then we have the devil, the bat in a bowl of soup. The tower. That looks like Bill de Blasio or something. And then here we have temperance. There's the moon. If you remember, people kind of like, you know, looking from their balconies. I think in Italy you saw that scene where you had people singing and stuff from their balconies, and there wasn't like many people in the streets. I don't know what's going on there, but you have somebody laying on the ground. It's just people going crazy, I guess. I have to really look at that. And then you have the sun. And then we have the ion. I don't really know what that means. I have to look it up. Meta ion. In the universe instead of the world. The core cards are pretty cool. So, and there's a lot of RWS stuff in here. I'm just going to kind of go through this quickly. Three of Wands. You know, he's making the choice. So there is some RWS in here, and then the Four of Wands. And the Five of Wands. So you have a guy kind of like leaving away from something. And the Six of Wands. He's like going away, which is like moving on maybe from something. But that's usually the Six of Swords. I'm not sure what the Six of Wands is. Oh yeah, no wait. Yeah. I'll have to look. I'll have to compare it to the Six of Wands on the RWS. I'm going blank for a minute. Seven of Wands. He's fighting people off. And 10. So now we have the core cards, which are really interesting. So you have the Princess of Wands here as the you know, the page, and then instead of knight we have prince. So maybe it's a Thoth style deck, I'm not sure. Maybe that's what it is. Queen of Wands. King. Now we have the Ace of Cups. I'm just going to go a little faster here. It's pretty interesting. You have that stability, you know. He's in a safe place in a bathtub with a bunch of bars of soap. You know, he's clean and germ-free. And here we have the Princess of Cups, supermarket girl again. So it seems like the supermarkets are the pages or the princesses, and you have like, I guess the media would be the prince, the knight, shelter in place, And you have the Queen, which is some kind of ship. I don't know if that's a supply ship or what, medical ship, or if it's a cruise ship. And we have the King of Cups. Ace of Swords. So we have face masks. You know, for me, this is more about collecting. The meanings are a little confusing for me. I mean, I guess if I sat and thought about them, I could learn the deck, but without a book, it's kind of hard. But as a collector's piece, you know, and I wonder if this is a Thoth style deck even. I don't see keywords and stuff, but I see a little RWS in here, but I'm just wondering if that's because it's a Thoth, or like based on a Thoth, which I'm not super familiar with. You know, I'm learning a little bit about Thoth, but I don't know too much. Yeah, so here we got the Prince of Swords again. So you got the princess back in the supermarket. You have the Prince of Swords, which is you know, the smartphone now. Ignore alien orders. Breaking news. Now we have the Queen of Swords. And the King. So there are some, you know, this is the Furnace, you know. There's some recurring themes there. Now we're into the discs. The Ace of Discs, Two of Discs. You know, in this day and age, I don't think this is something you would really want to read with anyway. Unless you have, listen, I mean, that's just me. You know, you might want to work with it. I don't know. But for me, I think this kind of deck, it reminds you too much of what's going on. And sometimes the nice thing about tarot is, you know, you can think about other things. Look at pretty art and stuff. You know. The toilet paper thing, that was something else, wasn't it? You know, having to fight for toilet paper. But what's amazing is I never have to go without it once. You know, we always manage to find just enough. So even like in the worst shortages, we still got by. Queen of Discs. And the King. So that's it. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And again, I will keep you posted about the giveaway. And you know, we'll talk soon. Love and peace. Bye-bye.